found. Attachment, which so to speak, is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendent knowledge. He is my Lord, word after word. From him ecstatic raven emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us, give us the shade of your lotus feet. May your fame spread all the three worlds, we take shelter at the lotus feet. Patita Pavana Shri Prabhupada Ki. Now we have a lecture by His Grace Krishna Premarupa. Please have on stage. Is there a Russian translation?
Yes.
You do it?
Jayarata Matava Kunja Bihari Jayarata Matava Kunja Bihari Jayarata Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayarata Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopichana Vallabha Girivardhari Vichana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivardhari Vichana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Rachachanaranjana Yashodanandana Rachachanaranjana Yashodanandana Rachachanaranjana Yashodanandana Rachachanaranjana Yamuna Tiravanacharya Tiravanacharya Yamuna Jayarata Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayarata Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Pariraj Acharya Sutra Satsashanti Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki Granta Rashi Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Gaur Premanande Glories to the Assembled Devotees, Glories to the Assembled Devotees, all glories to the Assembled Devotees, glories to Shri Guru Varama, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. So we're reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 24, the 61 explanation of the Atmaram verse, and we read text 253 today. So these are still the discussions between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami had requested Mahaprabhu to explain the Atmaram verse, and these are this is the section, the 3 more explanation of the Atmaram. We already heard 58 explanations or something like that in the last couple of months, and so these are 3 more, and this is concerning let me see here. Yeah, here it says, this is from text 228. The word Krishna Ramacha refers to one who takes pleasure in thinking of Krishna. Even though such a person may be a hunter, he is still worshipable and is the best of devotees. I shall now narrate the story of how a hunter became a great devotee by the association of such exalted personality as Narada Muni. From this story, one can understand the greatness of association with the pure devotees. So the topic is on remembering Krishna, and in this regard Mahaprabhu tells the story of the Mrigari the hunter, right? The Mrigari the hunter, famous story, we have all heard it. Prabhupada has many times told. And that hunter, his father was a hunter, his grandfather was a hunter, so he was born in that tribal family, and it was their business to kill animals. But he had learned a specific English is fine? Yeah, good. So English, not English. Killing the animals was a natural activity of that Mrigari, and he had a special technique that he learned from his father to kill the animals only half dead. So in order that he could see how they struggle before they die, eventually. So very cruel way. And we know, happened so that Narada Muni shows up in the forest, and he noticed that there are half-dead animals laying around. You know the story. So he approaches the hunter, and then there is a conversation between the hunter and Narada Muni, the saint. And Narada Muni tells him, well, why are you doing that? And he explained, well, that's the way I learned it. And Narada Muni tells him, well, don't you know that you cause great sin? There is a great sin, and this will cause you sinful reactions. That means every single animal that you kill in such a cruel way, that personality will take birth again, and it will kill you in that way. There's great consequences by doing such an activity. And then by the association of Narada Muni, Mrigari the hunter starts to kind of reflect a little bit. Maybe that's right. No. So what should I do? So that conversation takes place. And today we read text 253, right? Vyada kahe bhalya hoite ei amara karma. Kemane tarimu muni pamara adhama. Yade kahe bhalya hoite ei amara karma. Kemane tarimu muni pamara adhama. Vyadakai bhalya hoite ev amara karma. Kemane tarimu muni pamara adama. Vyadakai bhalya hoite ev amara karma. Kemane tarimu muni pamara adama.
Yadakahe balya hoite e amara karma. Kemane tarimu muni pamara adama.
Vaishnavis. Vyada kahe bolya hoite e amara karma. Kemane tarimu muni pamara adama. Vyada kahe bolya hoite e amara karma. Kemane tarimu muni pamara adama. Vyada kahe. The hunter said, Balya hoite. From the very beginning of my childhood. E amara karma. I've been taught this business. Half killing animals. Kemane. How? Tarimu. Shall become free from these sinful activities. Muni. I. Pamara adama. Sinful and misled. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The hunter then admitted that he was convinced of his sinful activity, and he said, I have been taught this business from my very childhood. Now I am wondering how I can become free from these unlimited volumes of sinful activity. Purport. This kind of admission is very beneficial as long as one does not again commit sin. Cheating and hypocrisy are not tolerated by higher authorities. If one understands what sin is, he should give it up with sincerity and regret and surrender unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead through his agent, the pure devotee. In this way one can be freed from the reaction of sin and make progress in devotional service. However, if one continues committing sins after making some atonement, he will not be saved. In the Shastra, such atonement is compared to an elephant's bathing. An elephant takes a very good bath and cleans his body very nicely, but as soon as it comes out of the water, it picks up some dust on the shore and throws it all over his body. Atonement may be carried out very nicely, but it will not help a person if he continues committing sins. Therefore the hunter first admit his sinful activity before the saintly person Narada, and then asked how he could be saved. Om Jnanati Mirandasya Ginanchana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Namo Bhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuveva Cha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I'll just read 2-3 more shlokas and then try to say something. So here first, regarding the hunter, he admits his sin, and he's asking, how can I be free from this sin? Then text 254. E papa yaha mora kemana upaya nishtara karaha mora padan tomar paye. The hunter continued, "My dear sir, please tell me how I can be relieved from the reaction of my sinful life. Now I fully surrender unto you and fall down at your lotus feet. Please deliver me from sinful reactions." Purport. By the grace of Narada Muni, the hunter came to his good senses and immediately surrendered unto the saint's lotus feet. This is the process. By associating with the saintly person, one is able to understand the reaction of his sinful life. When one voluntarily surrenders to a saintly person who is a representative of Krishna and follows his instruction, one can become free from sinful reactions. Krishna demands the surrender of a sinful man, and Krishna's representative gives the same instruction. The representative of Krishna never tells his disciple, "Surrender unto me," rather he says, "Surrender unto Krishna." If the disciple accepts this principle and surrenders himself through the representative of Krishna, his life is saved. Text 255. Narada Muni assured the hunter, "If you listen to my instruction, I shall find the way you can be delivered." Narada kahe yati dhara amara vachana tabe se karite pari tomara mojana. And the Prabhupada says in the purport, "Gorangera bhakta jane gane jane jane shakti dhare." The purport of this song is that the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very powerful, and each and every one of them can deliver the whole world. Any single devotee of Mahaprabhu can deliver the whole world. What then to speak of Narada Muni? If one follows the instruction of Narada Muni, one can be delivered from any number of sinful reactions. This is the process. One must follow the instruction of a spiritual master, then one will certainly be delivered from all sinful reaction. This is the secret of success. Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatau guru. If one has unflinching faith in Krishna and the spiritual master, the result is tasyete katihata hi artaha prakashante mahatmana. All the conclusions of the revealed scriptures will be open to such a person. A pure devotee of Krishna can make the same demands that Narada Muni is making. He says, "If you follow my instruction, I shall take responsibility for your liberation." A pure devotee like Narada can give assurance to any sinful man, because by the grace of the Lord, such a devotee is empowered to deliver any sinful person if that person follows the principle set forth. So this is a beautiful section. A nice story and very instructive. So we have several points. First of all, regarding the hunter, he admits his sin. He admits, okay, I did something wrong. He seeks help. He surrenders to a spiritual master, and then he's inquiring, how can I be free from sinful reaction? And the Guru says, if you just follow my instruction, I will, make you free from sin. So, and Prabhupada says that's the secret of success, pleasing the Guru. So, let's look at these points a little closer. So the first step is that regarding the hunter, of course he could have just said, what you're telling, this is all nonsense. This is the way I learned it, and I will just continue. Get lost here. That could also be a reaction of the. But somehow, by the influence of Narada Muni, his heart kind of became softened, and he realized, actually, this saint, I can feel he speaks the truth, and if he's right, then I'm in trouble, because I did so much sinful activities. So how can I be relieved of these sins? So and he admits, yes, actually you're right. This was not so good. This was not proper. And this is something which is also important for us. Basically, if we accept a spiritual master, then we need to have the proper attitude or mood. And what is that attitude? Very humble, falling at the feet of the spiritual master and requesting, please deliver me, please help me. That's how we should take shelter. Not just like, okay, let's get me a spiritual name so that I'm part of the society. And there can be different reasons why someone wants to accept a spiritual master. Prabhupada said one should not accept a spiritual master just because it's fashion. No. But one should, and that's something we can reflect, like how, I mean, those who already have accepted the Guru, what was my state of mind, and those who have not yet accepted, then please bear in mind, that's how you should surrender to a Guru. In a spirit of, seeking shelter, really calling out for help. Please, I need support, I need help. I'm fallen. Like that realization should be there, that I am fallen. And we see Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this is a famous song everyone knows, but nevertheless, I mean, whenever I read it, each time I'm again amazed on the humility which is displayed here. And some people say, well, but this Bhaktivinoda Thakur just, for our sake he's saying like this. But actually Bhaktivinoda Thakur is feeling like that. This is from Sharanagati, Amara Jivana. Amara Jivana Sada Paperata Naiko Punyera Lesha. I'll just read. I bury from my singing. My life is ever given to sin. In it there is no particular good. I have caused others great anxiety, and I have troubled all souls. For the sake of my own enjoyment, I have never hesitated to perform sinful acts. Devoid of all compassion, I am concerned only with my selfish interest. Perpetually speaking lies, I become dejected upon seeing others happy, whereas the misery of others is a source of great delight of me. So that's an interesting one. If others are happy, I feel disturbed. Why they are happy? And then if others are distressed, that's nice. And that's exactly what Mrigarita Hunter has been doing, right? No, he is killing the animals half death. And seeing half that animal, the hunter felt like, very nice. See how he's like Zoppler, we have it, like the legs is kind of shaking, moving. See how he's suffering. Very nice, very nice. Like what kind of consciousness you have if you find pleasure in seeing others suffering? But that's there. So people are like that. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, that's me. There are limitless material desires within the core of my heart. Okay, I think we all can identify with that, no? There is unlimited material desires in the heart. I mean, at least I can say there's so many desires. And it seems like they're never going, there is always there. And I am wrathful, fond of exhibiting arrogance, intoxicated by vanity, and bewildered by worldly affairs. I wear the cherished ornaments of envy and egotism. No, very poetic. I wear the ornaments. Like a woman, they put nice earrings and some nice, makeup, decoration. But actually a Vaishnava is meant to be decorated by all good qualities, by the Vaishnava qualities, humility, tolerance, and forgiveness. These are the ornaments the Vaishnava should wear, all the wonderful qualities. But here Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, but I am wearing the ornaments of envy and egotism. No, I'm only concerned about myself. How can I get most of it? How can I get what I need? And why the other people get what I actually want? Then envy comes if I see others being successful. Ruined by laziness and sleep. That's also very familiar. I resist all pious deeds. Yet I'm very enthusiastic to perform wicked acts. For the sake of worldly fame and reputation, I engage in the practice of deceitfulness. I am victimized by my own greed, being always lustfully. A wicked man such as this, rejected by good people, is a constant offender, devoid of all good works, forever inclined toward evil. He is worn out and wasted by various miseries. Now in old age, deprived of all means of relief, thus humbled and poor, Bhaktivinoda submits this tale of grief at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying to the Lord, "Oh my Lord, just look at look at me. What kind of person have I been? Please help me, please." Like that. It's interesting. There is a famous book. It's the how it's called in English. In German it's called die aufrichtige Erzählung eines russischen Pilgerers. Like I don't know, the honest narration of a Russian pilgrim. It's a story, like it's a Christian, and it's a very deep book, and there it's actually about chanting the names of God in a Christian tradition. He's always, absorbed in chanting the names of God, and it's a very deep book explaining his inner his life. And there one part of the book describes his Gewissensspiegel, where he actually reflects on his own quality, and it's very similar to this of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Very similar. He says, actually, I'm so selfish. I'm always concerned about my own benefit, and I'm envy if others are happy, and like that's very similar reflection. So, but why I'm bringing that up? Because this is needed. This is needed in order to take shelter of a guru. Because taking shelter of a guru means that I'm lost, I need help, and that's why I'm taking shelter. If you don't cultivate that attitude, then why you're taking shelter? Why do you need guidance? No? The guru is one who brings light into the darkness. The guru is the one who brings knowledge into various ignorance. But if you think I already know everything, and I am kind of shining full of light, then why do you need a guru? No need. So you need a guru because you're understanding that. Why you go to the doctor? Because you understand you have a disease. If you don't know that you are diseased, you never see a doctor. So we have to first realize what is our problem, and then we seek help. And of course, the thing is, in the beginning, we may have, in the beginning of Krishna consciousness, we may have that attitude. We realize, oh my God, like material life, now I have met Srila Prabhupada's books, I have understood, and then become remorseful. But then after some time, what happens? Krishna consciousness becomes a normal issue, normal affair, and then even we become proud of our achievements. Now I have become very advanced devotee. Don't you know who I am? We become, and then where is our humility? Where is our taking shelter? Where is our crying for Krishna? Where is our praying? And the thing is, the more we humble ourselves, the more we will be elevated. The more we depend on the Lord, the more the Lord will actually support us. And the more we feel hopeless and helpless, the more help we get. It's a very, very simple principle. Huh? If we actually take shelter, then Krishna will, he needs my help. Of course you can have help, and he will bless us. Well, the problem is that often we don't, we have not yet learned the art of actually really taking shelter and crying and really seeking that help. Because if we would do, then we would become very empowered. And that's the difference between an ordinary or just an ordinary devotee and those truly saintly people. Our spiritual masters, our gurus, those very advanced devotees. Why they are so advanced? Because they're constantly seeking shelter. And that's why they're constantly being blessed by the Lord. And that's how they become so powerful. So that's one lesson we can take from here. Mrigari the hunter, he takes a humble position. He realizes I did something wrong, and he seeks help. He wants to understand. Then, so he seeks help because he understands I have committed sin, and now, as a result of my sinful activities, there is a whole huge load of sinful reaction coming back to me. That means I will suffer like anything. And so I don't want to suffer, so let me do something, right? Do you like to suffer? No, nobody likes to suffer, no? It's not that we are getting up in the morning and, okay, let's see, maybe today or maybe on Tuesday I can experience some suffering. You know, maybe I fall down from a stair and break my bones, or it's not that we, like looking for experiencing suffering. Rather, we're always trying to find some happiness, and we are planning for happiness. But rather, happiness and distress comes. We always experience also some misery, some pain, some suffering. And why do we experience suffering? Because of sinful reaction in the past, and these reactions are just coming. And even now, while we're sitting here, every one of us has a whole huge baggage of aprarabdha karma, right? There is prarabdha karma, there is aprarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma means that karmic reaction which has already been manifested. Our body, the kind of body we have, the personality we are, that's all a manifestation of the prarabdha karma. It's all from past lives. This karma has manifested in the form that we have now, the body. But then there is a lot of karma which is aprarabdha. It's not yet manifested, and it's just waiting to be manifested. That means any time karma may hit us, good karma and bad karma. And I remember Sachinanda Maharaj, he made an example. It's like someone knocks at your door, you're in the evening, like, I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock, you're peacefully reading a book or something, and all of a sudden, you don't know who is coming now. Who is disturbing me? Is it my friend, or is it an enemy? Maybe a thief who wants to see someone at home so he can steal. So similarly, all of a sudden, karmic reaction is knocking. So now karma is coming. And we don't know, is it good karma, bad karma? Sometimes we are lucky, and all of a sudden someone comes, gives us a huge donation, or someone is kind of, bringing some good news, or is very kind, is helping us. And other times, some person is very envious, causing a lot of trouble to us, I don't know, speaking bad about us, creating some rumors, or we have an accident, all of a sudden we get sick. We are completely fine, and all of a sudden next day we are sick, something happens. We never know, and we all have experienced, right? Life was so good, and all of a sudden there's an accident. So is this a nice situation? Like any time something can happen? I mean, I find it very disturbing, isn't it? No, you just want to have a peaceful life and you want to enjoy it, but you never know. Any time something can happen. I find this really disturbing. Any time something can happen. So, of course, the Mrigari, the hunter, especially in his case, he has done a lot of sin. Of course, many of us, we may also have done a lot of nonsense in our past. So we know, oh my God, there's many things maybe still coming. But then there is the process of devotional service, and we spoke about this previously in other class, that this Bhakti Yoga is like is a process which can actually destroy all sinful reactions. Jai Jagannath Baladev Sura Shishi Gonitai Ki Jai. Because at the beginning of everything is avidya, there is ignorance. And because we are in ignorance, we identify with the body, and then we think I will be happy by enjoying through the body. And in order to enjoy, to fulfill our lossy desires, we commit sinful activities. No? We develop a desire to do some sinful, then we actually act on it. And when we act, there is a reaction is coming. Some reaction are manifested, some are unmanifested. And even then, and here Prabhupada explains in the purport that if someone admits I'm sinful, and he stops his activity and actually he regrets, and then he can be saved. But if he takes atonements but then again does the same sinful thing, then you cannot save him. Like the elephant who takes a bath and comes out and again throws some dust, right? So we cannot just continue with the sinful things. So, but we have to stop it. And but the problem is, what is the problem? We are very,
You still have to decide.
yes, we are very weak. No, we understand philosophy. It's not so difficult. You read some books, you understand, okay, that's how it is. There's karma, action, reaction. You understand. But then, in German we say, from the Bible, der Geist ist willig, aber das Fleisch ist schwach. Like, and the mind is ready to follow, but the flesh is weak, like there is still, so many desires, and our body is kind of full of desires, and we're not able to kind of control our senses. We are a god hasa, we are the slave of our own senses, and we have to follow the command of our senses. We are not able to restrain ourselves. So that's because in our heart the desire is still there. We may understand theoretically, but inside the heart there's still desires. There's an inclination, there's still inclination to commit sinful activities. Many inclinations, many desires. And therefore even we atone and we become free from reaction, and we again commit because the desire is still there. And so what should we do? We have to surrender to a spiritual master. We have to take the help of a guru, and that guru gives us instructions. And this is what Narada Muni says. He said, let's hear again. He says, Narada Muni assures the hunter, if you listen to my instruction, I shall find the way you can be delivered. So you just listen to my instruction, follow my instruction, I will deliver you. So that's the importance, because Krishna says Sarvadharma Parityaja Mame Kam Sharanam Vraja, that you just surrender unto me. So Krishna demands surrender. Prabhupada explains that Krishna demands surrender, and if we surrender, then do not worry, do not fear, I will free you from all sins. Krishna personally says so, but what does it mean to surrender to Krishna? It means to surrender to Krishna's representative, the spiritual master. Because Krishna is not, we don't see Krishna. We can't just bow down to Krishna, touch his feet. Of course we can do it in front of the Murti. Krishna is kindly appearing in a Murti form. But sometimes the Murti doesn't even have lotus feet. Like Lord Jagannath. Feet are missing. Anyway, there is Satari, there is but we have Gauranga's feet are there, we can take shelter. But Krishna is actually, it's Krishna's arrangements, it's Krishna's system that Krishna himself manifests in the form of the spiritual master as a representative of him, and by taking shelter of him, by the spiritual master, then that's how we surrender to Krishna, by surrendering to the spiritual master. And then Guru gives us Vani. There is Vapu and Vani, we know. There is the physical association with the Guru, and there is the instruction that we receive from Guru. And of both of these two, Vani is, in a sense, more important. It's hard to say more important, but Vani is eternal. That we can say. Vapu is temporary. We may have association of Guru for some time, and that association we should relish. We should be very eager to have the physical association. That's because I lost my spiritual master very early on. I was just initiated a couple of years, and then my spiritual master left. So I always tell devotees, please, take advantage. Your Guru is still alive. Some devotees have the good fortune to be around with their spiritual master for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years association with the spiritual master. This is like amazing. I had 4 years association, only 4 years, and I was a young bhakta, young brahmachari. How much exchange you have with your spiritual master if you're just a new devotee? That kind of conversation I would have now is very different. But I was never able to have that conversation because my guru left very early. So therefore I always, stress or I encourage devotees, be eager, like if your guru is somewhere, go, try, make sure you can see him. Sometimes, oh no, it's 2 hours, 3 hours travel, I'm not going, maybe next time. No, you should be very eager. Vapu, to have this personal association as much as you can. But then, Vapu is temporary. At some point, Guru will leave. That's for sure. But then what remains is the Vani, the instruction. And that becomes your wealth, the main thing you have. That's why also, and of course Guru gives general instruction and he gives personal instruction. And if we can, we should try to get personal instructions. Any instruction is good. Guru says chant 16 rounds, read Prabhupada's books. These are also important instruction we follow, naturally. And if you do that very faithfully, that's equally powerful. But somehow for our mind, it can be more, like if it's a personal instruction, it gives us an additional kind of inspiration, maybe. So we can try to get some personal instruction from the Guru. And it's our right as a disciple, we should ask, And yeah, I mean, like Prabhupada asked his Guru, or his Guru told Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta told, you should spread Krishna consciousness in the English language, Western world. We may not get such a huge instruction, like save the world, like. But whatever the Guru tells us, that should become, our life and soul. It can be a simple instruction. For a mother with children, can be just, raise your children Krishna conscious. This is a huge task. This can be a life mission. But that's important. And there is a nice analogy we have heard also before, I'm sure. The material world is like a deep, dark well. Imagine you walking in a forest, and then all of a sudden you fall into a ditch, in a well, and you cannot come out on your own. And then someone comes and throws a rope inside that dark well, so you just catch hold on this rope, and the person will pull you out. So that's like our situation. The material world is like a deep, dark well. We've fallen into this well or in this ditch. We are not able to get out on our own. But then the Guru, the spiritual master, he has a rope, and he throws that rope into that well, and he's asking us, please, just take this rope and hold tightly, and I'll pull you out. So one part of the rope is he throws to us, and the other part of the rope is at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, in the spiritual world. that rope comes from the spiritual world. It's tightly fixed at Krishna's lotus feet, and we can catch the other part. And then Guru, he's just pulling us out. So we don't have to. We don't have to do much. It's Guru who delivers us. Sometimes we are kind of, oh my God, how should I ever become delivered? I'm such a sinful, such a fallen person. How I ever will make it? How can I ever attain perfection? That's actually not your business. Guru, at the time of initiation, there is, we take promise. I will follow 4 regulated principles, chant 16 rounds. But Guru also takes a promise. What is the vow of the Guru? I will deliver this soul from the cycle of birth and death. So which vow is more heavy? I think the vow of the Guru is more heavy. Now the Guru, Guru means heavy, and he says, I will deliver that soul. This is a huge responsibility to deliver a soul from the cycle of birth and death. But Guru takes that vow. So to be delivered, it's not our business. We don't have to, worry so much, how can I become delivered? Guru will deliver us. But what we have to do is to take that rope and hold tightly. And otherwise, how can he deliver us? If you're not, like imagine if you don't hold that rope, and he pulls the rope, and it goes this is very light, my disciple is very light, and no one, the rope is there, no one is there. Just have to hold. But what is that hold? What does it mean to hold? To follow instruction. Yeah, very simple. I mean, simple. Is it so simple? Not always. But to follow the instruction is the meaning of holding that rope. So if we very strictly, tightly follow the instruction of the spiritual master, he can easily take us out. But we have to do our part. And our part is to follow the instruction. And then we can be delivered. There is no question about that. So in this way, this story of Mrigari the hunter shows the power of sadhu sangha. It shows the power of accepting a spiritual master and surrendering. And we see in the story, actually, Narada Muni is, and there is also test. Following the instruction is not so easy always. There will be tests. Because what is Narada Muni is asking him to do? What is the first instruction Narada Muni gives him?
To kill the animals fully.
To break the bow.
Yeah, to break the bow. Yeah, he both is true. He says that first of all you should, that was in the beginning. He said, why do you kill them in half? You can kill them fully. Okay, if killing is your business, I mean it's not good, but at least I understand you're a hunter. So, but then killing them half is like really sinful. So that was. But then he admits his sin. But then once he admits his sin, and please help me, how can I be delivered? Then the first instruction Narada Muni says, break your bow. And this is heavy. He's a hunter. That's all he has. No, he lives in the jungle. And the only way he maintains himself is by killing animals and then eating their flesh. And Narada tells him, break that bow. So this is a heavy, so that's what, if you come to Guru and Guru gives us instruction, he may give us such an instruction. Now you give up your material life. You give up your material life, you join the ashram, you have to give up everything. And then of course the Guru tells, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication, no meat eating, chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna, 2 hours of meditation every day, 16 rounds. So that the Guru gives instruction. And these instructions might not be so easy at the beginning. But that's the test we have to accept. And of course Guru gives more instructions. And then we fully depend on Guru and Krishna. And as in the story, all of a sudden, how is the hunter maintained? In the beginning he has doubt. If I break my bow, how can I live?
People are coming and bringing him food.
Yeah, because Narada Muni says, don't worry, I will make sure you will get everything you need. So he breaks the bow and he plants a tulsi plant in front of his house. He starts to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, in front of Tulsi Maharani. And all the villagers, the people, they realize, what's going on? This hunter became a sadhu, he became a Vaishnava. This is a miracle. He completely transformation of the heart. So they go there and pay obeisances and bring food stuff. And he peacefully chants and people bring food and he has a very good life. But that requires some faith. Okay, I will take a step, I will renounce, I give up, but then Krishna will maintain me. And that requires some faith. And that's also part of Sharanagati, right? To accept whatever is favorable, to reject whatever is unfavorable, and to fully depend on Krishna, to understand Krishna is my maintainer, Krishna is my protector. That is the path of Sharanagati. And in this beautiful story we can see how Mrigari the hunter, he surrenders to Narada Muni and in this way attains perfection. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Any comments or questions on this topic? Yes. I think Lokapani was first. Hare Krishna.
I would like to know, when we get initiated, then it is said that the Guru takes the karma.
Yes.
But still, we suffer. But it's obvious, and sometimes when devotees are in difficulty, and that's so, then we consult the Jyotish, and then we actually see that according to our birth chart, certain things are happening now.
Yes.
So what's the catch?
What's going on here? Yes, very good question. It says that when we take initiation, our guru takes our karma, but then still we see after initiation we are still suffering. How is that possible? What's going on? Yes, because Krishna says, do not worry, I relieve you from all sinful reactions. And Guru as the representative is doing exactly that. When we take shelter of Guru at the time of initiation, then the yakya is performed, and then basically the Guru removes all sinful reactions from us, and we take a new birth. We get a new name, spiritual name, and we are completely newly born, and a new life starts. But Guru and Krishna, they leave some rest karma with us, because you cannot exist in the material world without karma. If your karma is completely eradicated, completely finished, how can you exist in a material body? It's not possible. As long you have a material body, there must be some karmic reaction moving around, otherwise you can't function in this world. That's why it said Guru and Krishna, they keep some rest karma, or in other words, whatever karma is there, also according to, you mentioned Jyotish, according to the destiny, the prarabdha karma, because it says at the time of birth, not only your body, your gender, your nationality, your family is kind of fixed, but also the amount of happiness and distress is already determined. It's fixed. Some people may have 70% happiness and 30% suffering, and other people have 30% happiness and 70% suffering, and that's just fixed. You can't do anything about it. Nothing you can do about it. It's according to your karma, it will just hit you. Some people just lucky, some people are unlucky due to their previous activities. So just let me finish and then we can, and then so in this way this is kind of fixed, but then at the time of initiation, when Guru and Krishna takes away that karma, what it means is whatever karma remains according to destiny, Guru and Krishna will use that karma to purify our heart. That means the same thing will still happen, but it will happen in a very reduced form, and in a way that we learn something. And Krishna will teach us something by it. So that's kind of the difference, right? Otherwise it will just hit us and we just suffer. But because Guru and Krishna are there, then it will, Prabhupada says you should lose your hand, but you only cut your finger. And then also you learn something and become a better devotee afterwards. So that, and then Prabhupada gives the example of the fan, like if it's hot, you have some fan, and you pull out the plug, there is no electricity on the fan, but what happens? The fan is still spinning for some time. No, not forever, because there is no electricity, but for some time it will still spin. And that's basic initiation, means taking out the plug. Electricity is gone, that's initiation. But then it will still rotate for another 30, 40 years, slowly. And then towards the end of a life, so at some point, then it's gone. Let me, if we have our guest, just...
I can just pass through, but I think after I heard the thing about breaking the rule, for me it was more or less about faith in let's say Krishna, right? In terms of, although you don't understand how, you will provide with everything.
Right.
You don't need to be 100 no more, or you don't need
Yeah.
that, or whatever thing you think you need to be in order to get what you think you need. And all
Yes.
But how can he get his faith?
Good question. Like how he actually gets to that faith, because it does take some faith to accept such a thing. And in a way, I mean, when we took initiation, we didn't have to break our bows, right? The Guru didn't told us to break the bows, but the Guru told us to give up our life that we led so far, because we had faith. If I drink a beer and if I have some sex life, and if I do this and that, I will be happy. But Guru tells us, don't do that anymore. And we have to have faith that actually we will be still maintained, we will be happy in our life. So now your question is how to get that kind of faith. And that faith will be attained through the association of one who has already done the journey. Like if you're in the association of a sadhu, of a devotee, and you can see how he has already taken a few more steps on the journey, and he is very happy, he is very successful, he is kind of wonderful person, then that gives you faith. Oh, he has gone the journey, I can also do the same. So faith comes mainly in the association of others, by those who have already made some progress. That's why the Sangha is so important. It says Sadhu Sangha is very powerful and very important by helping each other, learning from each other. Yeah, I would answer like that. Yes, Albina had a question.
Этот охотник мучил животных, потому что его так воспитали, это традиция. This hunter made suffering for these animals because he was in childhood, from childhood he got this education.
Yes.
И до встречи он не считал это грехом. And before meeting with Narada Muni, he didn't realize that this is a sin.
Mm-hmm.
Вот сейчас в Марокко в наши дни детей бьют в школе. Бьют не только за плохое поведение, но и за неправильный ответ. Nowadays in Morocco, children are beaten in the school not just for bad things which they make, but also for bad answer. И когда моя дочь пришла к директору школы, возмущенная тем, что ее детей бьют, and when my daughter came to director of the school, asking, she was exhausted with this attitude that her children are beaten, он искренне удивился и сказала, как по-другому. У нас в классе по 50 человек. То есть это их культура. He was astonished. It's okay because we have 50 children in the class, so it's our culture to do like this. И мы все дети Кришны. We are all Krishna's children. И марокканцы тоже, но они исповедуют ислам. And people from Morocco also, but they teach Islam. И они не считают это грехом. And they don't think, если в нашей культуре это грех, а в их культуре они не видят в этом греха. And they don't think it is a sin. So how to be if in our culture it's not a sin, and in their culture vice versa.
Yeah.
In our culture it's a sin, and in their culture. But who is right? We are all children of God. Who is right?
Yes, thank you for that question. Yes. Yeah, eating meat is also normal in our culture, right? Like people that just, when they, for most people in a Western world, if they go to a restaurant and order something, they order meat. And then the vegetables or potatoes, that's just an extra. The main thing they want to eat is the meat. For them it's normal. They think this is normal. But in Vedic culture we understand it's a great sin. So who is right? Who is wrong? And just because, but the thing is, just because something is culture, just because something is culture does not mean that it is right. And also when we see how culture is developed, actually what is culture? Culture is actually an expression of consciousness of people. According to the consciousness of people, certain culture will be there. When Mahatma Gandhi was asked, what do you think about Western culture? He says, that's a good idea. It would be a good idea if the Western also have a culture. Because there is no culture actually. I mean, it's a little hard, but Switzerland, what is our culture? Bratwurst und Rösti. What culture is that? So the culture is an expression of consciousness, and if consciousness is not high, it's not elevated. If it's not based, if culture is not based on dharma, culture is not based on morality and ethics, then the culture will be also a low culture. Low culture in a sense means others living entities have to suffer. Because we may say our culture is Zürich Schnatzlitz. You know Zürich Schnatzlitz? That's the traditional dish in Zurich, in the city we are living. And it's basically it's meat, it's beef, it's meat from calves actually. This is tradition in Zurich. But if that's the culture, but so many living entities, they have to suffer because of that culture. What kind of culture is if other living entities have to suffer? So therefore, usually Shastra gives guidelines. Shastra gives the laws. That's Prabhupada always emphasized that a religion is it's given by the Lord. It is dharma is established by the Lord Himself, by Shastra, and that needs to be followed. But the problem is that in due course of time, especially in Kali Yuga, religion has been abandoned and influenced and watered down, and culture has become more degraded, and so now it's people argue what is right, what is wrong. So we need to go back to the scriptures and then take guidance from there. It's an interesting question, thank you, but it's a huge topic. I guess we could give a separate class on that. And time is up, we are already over time, so I guess I will stop here. But yeah, it's an interesting topic. We all have some sinful background, more or less. Some are quite innocent, like Makar. Makar is very innocent. But others come from some more sinful background. And then, the question is how to get relief of the sins. And the answer is in this story. The answer is by taking shelter in a very, as we said, in a humble attitude, in a spirit of regret. We take shelter of a spiritual master. We follow the instruction of the spiritual master, and by that we can become free from, by practicing devotional service, because ultimately it's bhakti, it's the power of bhakti that relieves us from sinful reactions, of course by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krantarat Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhas Jai.
Otherwise you get pop. I said you were a saintly person. Even if I was singing mega nice, also this Megadi singing good. What? This Megadi singing mega nice.
variety, then I think that's what is wanted. But yeah.
I was writing Krishna song, when he had this, he had it in Canada.
Ah, yeah.
And then when we were down I really like it. And I have finished so I was thinking something I will contribute like that. And I think, I don't know how good Alila makes his plays and so on. Like when he does some sketches and I would be inspired to also write because I don't know, I just like it and I don't know, I get into it and maybe I'm not a good I never tried acting, but I like to write. So maybe should I ask them or should I ask you to ask them?
Regarding the writing plays, of course, the Mangala play is Gorvidas, it's like his project. Mostly he writes the scripts, but yeah, maybe he's happy to have support, or most because he will be directing everything. Also, he wants to, you know. But yeah, maybe he's open to. Sure.
Or writing for the magazines, I don't know. So maybe someone will be inspired. Okay.
That's nice. I see that Russians takes a lot of effort to encourage writing. It's like you take it up.
Yeah, I got really inspired. I wrote I write things like in
there's no culture.